Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about neurotransmitters and their related behavior. So in biological basis of behavior, we were discussing about the importance of biological behavior and we were also discussing about the structure and functions of neurons, types of neurons. And today in part 6, we are going to discuss about the neurotransmitters and their related behavior. If you have not seen part 5 video where I have been talking about how neurotransmitters work or how there is communication between neurons. So here in neurotransmitter, we will try to understand what is neurotransmitter and what are the major neurotransmitters and their related behavior. So, talking about the neurotransmitter, they are the chemical messengers that transmit signal from one neuron to another neuron across a synapse. So imagine that you want to call your friend, and when you are calling to your friend, what do? First of all, you dial a number, and there can be higher probability that the call will be received or may not be received. But what you are using as a mediator for communication, you are using a mobile phone, right? Like that, in neuron also, from one neuron to other neuron, if you want to pass the message, there must be certain mediator, and that is neurotransmitter. These are the chemical messengers that transmit signals from one neuron to another across a synapse. So what is the synapse? Synapse is the gap between two neurons. So the neuron which is trying to send the message, they are the presynaptic neuron, and which is going to receive, that is the postsynaptic neuron. So this synapse is the tiny gap between those two neurons, to which we also call them as synaptic cleft. So what are they crucial for? They are crucial for all the virtually all functions of the nervous system, and they influence our behavior, mood, movement, and cognition. So as you can see in the figure, you can see the figure of action terminal, from which you can also see the small vesicle over there, which has got many molecules, right? So these molecules are neurotransmitter, which is inside the vesicle. So when these neurotransmitters from the chemical signal goes to the receptor of the next neuron, there can be higher chances that fit in and sends the message to the neuron. But if it is not used and it goes back to the same vesicle, it is said as the reuptake. And some neurons, some of the neurotransmitters, there can be chances of the diffusion as well, and some of the neurotransmitters, they get degraded as well. So when neurotransmitter pass from presynaptic neuron to the postsynaptic neuron, there can be three possible actions of the neurotransmitter. First one is excitatory action. Next one is inhibitory action, and the third one is modulatory action. So an excitatory neurotransmitter excite the neuron. That means the message continues to be passed along the next cell or next neuron. So inhibitory action means it blocks or prevents the chemical message from being passed along any further. So, but in modulatory, what happens is it influences the effects of the chemical messenger. They tweak or adjust how cells communicate at the synapse. They also affect a larger number of neurons at the same time. Now, let us know about major neurotransmitter. What are the major neurotransmitter which we are going to discuss in further slide? But talking about the neurotransmitter, there are lots of neuron transmitters and hundreds of neurotransmitters has been identified and some are still left. Now let us discuss about the major neurotransmitter. Here I have created a block and that is what is its primary action, what are its related behaviors and functions, and what are the associated dysfunctions of these neurotransmitters when it is low or high in nature. First of all, let's talk about the dopamine. So, dopamine, it is excitatory action or modulatory action. It is involved in the reward system. So what are the related behavior and function? It majorly plays a role in motivation, pleasure, movement, attention, learning, emotion, and decision making. But when there is low in dopamine, there can be Parkinson's disease, which is related to motor symptoms. There can be depression and lack of motivation. But if there is high level of dopamine, there can be schizophrenia, addiction, or mania. Now, let's talk about the other major neurotransmitter, that is serotonin. So, if you talk about the action, it is inhibitory or modulatory. If you talk about the behavior, it regulates our mood, sleep, appetite, digestion, anxiety, and sexuality. But when it is low, there can be higher chances of depression, anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, insomnia. And when it is high, there can be serotonin syndrome, that is dangerous agitation, high blood pressure. Next neurotransmitter is norepinephrine and it is mainly excitatory and it plays part in fight or flight response. So what is its major function? It makes a major role or creates a major role in alertness, arousal, vigilance, focus, stress response, mood and sleep regulation. When it is low, there can be chance of depression, fatigue, attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder. And when it is high, there can be anxiety, hypertension, hyperactivity. The next neurotransmitter is GABA, gamma aminobutyric butyric acid. So its primary action it is inhibitory neurotransmitter. What it does is it mainly calms the nervous system, regulates anxiety, sleep, and motor control. And when it is low, there can be anxiety disorders, seizures, or insomnia. Talking about the glutamate, it is majorly excitatory neurotransmitter and it is key for learning, memory, and cognitive function. But what happens is when the glutamate is high, it can cause excitotoxicity, neuron damage linked to stroke, epilepsy, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson disease. Here, I want to also add one of the example like kids. These days they have noodles, and there might be present of MSC, which is the presence of glutamate. So it's very important to not give kids more amount of such food which contains more glutamate, which can like differ in their learning, memory, and cognitive function. Next is acetylcholine, and it is mainly excitatory and modulatory. Excitatory in muscles and modulatory in brain. So it helps in muscle contraction, memory, learning, and attention. If it's low, it can lead to Alzheimer disease, memory impairment, myasthenia gravis, muscles weakness. Next one is endorphins. It is inhibitory natural opiates, regulation of pain, it plays role in regulation of pain, stress reduction, feelings of euphoria. Examples: runner high. Low If it's low, there can be chronic pain, increased anxiety. Next one is epinephrine, that is excitatory hormone and neurotransmitter. It creates intense alertness, acute stress response. It can be part of fight or flight. And if it's high, there can be anxiety, stress, high blood pressure. So if you want to learn more about the neurotransmitter, you can go through this link and you can also do the further reading from these references. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will again meet in the next video. Thank you. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe the channel.